You are most welcome. I'm teacher Ivan from WUNNA Educational Services. Today we shall be looking at fractions. But before we look at fractions, I would like to remind you that WUNNA Educational Services provide both online services and offline services. So those who are near us, you can always reach us, can contact us using our contact emails or numbers so that you get access to learning and teaching materials. For those who are a bit far from us, still you can subscribe to our channels and also like and follow our Facebook pages where we post learning lessons, learning notes and topical revision questions, and we also emphasize discussions. Let us look at the fractions. What is a fraction? A fraction can be defined as a ratio of two quantities, of the same units. A ratio of two quantities of the same units. And since it is a ratio, that means that it has a numerator and a denominator. For instance, if I have 5 centimeters over 6 centimeters, that is a fraction, whereby if I reduce the units, I will get 5 over 6, which is a fraction. And in this fraction, we have the numerator, which is 5, and denominator, which is 6. However, we have types of fractions which include the proper fraction. We have the proper fraction. It is a fraction where the numerator is less than the denominator. For instance, when I write 5 over 6, my numerator 5 is less than the denominator 6. So this is a proper fraction. Then we also have the improper fraction. Improper fraction is that type of fraction where the numerator is greater than the denominator. If I have 6 over 5, the numerator 6 is greater than the denominator 5. So it is an improper fraction. Then we have the mixed fraction. A mixed fraction is that fraction which consists of a whole number and a proper fraction. That is to say, if I have 2.5, this fraction has two parts. It has a whole number and a proper fraction. Therefore, that is a mixed fraction. Those are the types of fractions we shall be looking at. After looking at the types of fractions, then let us look at how do we come up with a mixed fraction. A mixed fraction is got from the improper fraction. For instance, if I have 6 over 5, which is an improper fraction, I can change this to a mixed fraction. How? I'm dividing 6 by 5. Let me use long division. 5 goes into 6 once, and you get a balance of 1. Five divided by 5 is 1. 6 minus the 5 is 1. So you get 1 remainder, 1. And now we shall take the 1 as our whole number, and then the remainder becomes the numerator, and the divisor becomes the denominator, meaning that 6 over 5 is equivalent to 1 and 1 over 5. Let's try another one. We may have 9 over 4. This is an improper fraction where the numerator is greater than the denominator. We can change this improper fraction to a mixed fraction. So we shall divide. We are dividing 9 by 4. The multiple of 4 that is near to 9 is 8. And 8 divided by 4 is 2. But 8 leaves us a remainder of 1 when taken away from 9. Meaning that it is 2 remainder 1. Now, how do we come up with a mixed fraction? The 2 becomes our whole number. The remainder 1 becomes our numerator, and the divisor 4 becomes the denominator. Therefore, 9 over 4 is equivalent to 2 1/4. That is how we convert improper to mixed fraction. After looking at that, let us look at ordering fractions. How do we order fractions? Fractions can be given to us. For instance, we may have 2 over 3, 3 over 4, 7 over 9, and maybe 11 over 10. And we are asked to rearrange these fractions either in ascending or descending order. If it is ascending, order, it will mean that we shall arrange the fractions from the smallest to the largest. So ascending is smallest to largest. If it is descending, that will be the opposite now, from largest to smallest. So fractions can be arranged according to the two categories. How do we do this? We already have our fractions that we must arrange. We have 2/3, 3/4, 7/9, and 11/10. We shall arrange in ascending, meaning we are to start with the smallest. But how do we determine the smallest? Just mere looking at fractions cannot give you the smallest, but we must determine mathematically. That is, we get the LCM of the denominators. We already saw how we get LCM. So our denominators are 3, 4, 9, and 10. We shall get the LCM of the denominators. Let us use the ladder method. We have 3, 4, 9, 10. By 2, you get 3, 2, 9, 5. Still by 2, you get 3, 1, 9, 5. Then by 3, you get 1, 1, 3, 5. Still by 3, you get 1, 1, 1, 5. And lastly by 5 to give us 1, 1, 1. So after decomposing our denominators, we get the LCM by multiplying the divisors. That is to say, 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 5, giving us 4 times 30, which is 60. Oh, sorry, this is 45. So 4 times 45, giving us 180. So our LCM is 180. The LCM of denominators equals to 180. After getting 180, now we multiply. That is the first step. Our step 2 is to multiply that LCM by every fraction. Remember, we had 2/3, 3/4, 7/9, and 11/10. So we are multiplying the LCM by each. That is to say, 2/3 times 180, giving us, this is 60 times 2, that is 120. Then 3/4 times 180, that gives us 45. And 45 times 30 times 3 gives us, that is 105. No, this is 15, 135. Then we also multiply 7/9 times 180, that gives us 20 times 7, that is 140. 11/10 times 180, this gives us 18 times 12, 11, that is 198. So after getting the values. Now we shall use these values to determine the smallest and the largest fraction. So, meaning that from our figures, with the 120 as the smallest, it implies that 2 over 3 comes first because it is the smallest fraction, followed by 3 over 4, then 7 over 9, and lastly 11 over 10. So this is in ascending order. Now, as I summarize, that implies that if you want to get fractions arranged, we have 2 steps. One is to get the LCM of the denominators. 2 is to multiply the LCM by each fraction, and lastly you determine the smallest to the largest, or the largest to the smallest, from what you have got after multiplying the LCM with the fractions. Thank you. Let's meet in our next lesson.